Coming up on Evening Edition, Governor Pritzker has plans to fight Illinois' budget deficit. Plus, a Kentucky principal has been suspended, and some SIU students are fighting back against President Trump's border wall. Live from Southern Illinois University, you're watching River Region Evening Edition.
Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker presented his state budget plan today. Good evening, I'm Jacob Gordon.
And I'm Hannah Frisch. The governor says his budget includes, quote, humble honesty and some bold optimism. He also says the state faces a structural deficit of more than $3 billion on top of $15 billion in debt. Among his plans for reversing those numbers, the legalization of recreational marijuana.
By legalizing and regulating adult use cannabis in this legislative session, we will create jobs and bring in $170 million in licensing and other fees in this fiscal year 2020.
Governor Pritzker also wants to legalize sports betting and put more money toward public education. We will have more on the state budget tomorrow on Evening Edition.
2 people were hurt after a fire earlier this afternoon in Murfreesboro. The fire began in the basement of the home near the corner of 15 and Elm Street in downtown Murfreesboro. The Murfreesboro and Carbondale fire departments responded and were able to put out the fire. 2 people were rushed to the hospital, one with life-threatening injuries. And police are investigating after several reports of sex abuse, child pornography, and official misconduct at McCracken County High School in Kentucky. McCracken County Sheriff Matt Carter held a news conference earlier this morning to release the details of 4 separate incidents. 3 employees, 1 who has not been named, and 1 student are under investigation. The Sheriff's Department believes each of the 4 investigations is independent and do not involve federal investigators. They also believe the incidents are recent.
Well, Jacob, the day started out with rain, but the sun tried to peek out from behind the clouds.
It sure did. I hope we can see some more of that sunshine soon. Madeline Parker is here now with a first look at weather. Madeline, are we going to see the sun?
Well, Jacob, we are going to see the sun, but only for a little bit. Tonight, it's going to be dropping down to 36 degrees with cloudy skies, but in the morning, we might have partly cloudy skies, but with colder temperatures around 31 degrees. And around midday, the clouds are going to come back out and hide that sun again, and the temperature is going to be 41 degrees. And I have some bad news. Tonight, we're going to be having a river flood warning, and that'll be continuing until further notice. And we might even see some more rain coming in, but I'll tell you more about that in my 5-day forecast.
All right, Madeline, thanks. A group of SIU students gathered at Lentz Dining Hall around noon today to protest the wall at the U.S.-Mexico border. The Solidarity March was organized by the SIU Young Democrat Socialist of America. Organizers say the march was to join other marches across the country to take a stand against President Trump's border wall.
Most Americans didn't vote in the last election. Most Americans didn't vote for Donald Trump out of the people that did vote. It's an unpopular power grab, in our opinion. We're taking solidarity grabs. We're taking solidarity actions with groups all over the country right now to say block the wall, that we will not let it happen. This national emergency is fabricated, so we'll make a real national emergency for them.
Now, so far, 16 states, including Illinois, have filed lawsuit against President Trump after he signed the national emergency. And in Central Illinois, prosecutors rallied yesterday demanding the town not greenlight the construction of an ICE detention facility. Town officials are considering whether or not to annex the land undocumented immigration center. Critics say the detention center is wrong both ethically and morally, but the attorney for the company says he wishes that the center would run, says it's a significant upgrade from jails and prisons.
There's literally immigrant children dying in their custody. There's literally thousands of children who have disappeared from their purview. And we think we can do better in the state of Illinois, in Dwight, and in this nation.
Dwight's Village Board plans to vote on whether to annex the property in question next week.
2 people are dead after a high-speed chase with Border Patrol agents last night. After illegally crossing the border on foot, a man and a woman entered a getaway car to avoid authorities. A high-speed chase ensued, reaching speeds of over 100 miles per hour. The chase ended when the suspect car crashed into a truck with enough force to rip off the top of the vehicle.
Something that Border Patrol agents pursue and enforce on a daily basis. And this is just an example of the dangers that alien smuggling organizations put people in. It's a very tragic event.
So the male driver and passenger both died. The woman was rushed to the hospital in critical condition. And the U.S. Census Bureau says a question about citizenship might keep 630,000 households from completing and returning the census. That estimate includes both those who leave the citizenship question unanswered and those who do not reply at all. In both cases, census employees follow up with mailings and in-person visits. The problem is that's the most expensive part of the population count. The Bureau is worried that the situation could increase the cost of the 2020 census by at least $27.5 million.
And ahead on Evening Edition, one presidential hopeful is seeing a lot of green.
Plus, the Big Muddy Film Festival kicked off last night. You're watching Evening Edition at 5. A newspaper publisher in Alabama is taking fire for an editorial he wrote last week. The article calls for a resurgence of the Ku Klux Klan as a way to oppose a so-called plot by Democrats to raise state taxes. Many residents say it's not the first racially charged headline, and they'd like the paper to stop.
As a white female, it makes me look bad that, I must feel the same way, because I live in this town and that's my newspaper. And it's like, that's the furthest thing I believe in.
The publisher who wrote the piece, Goodloe Sutton, says he stands by it. But Alabama Senator Doug Jones and Representative Terry Sewell are calling for him to apologize and resign. And 2 universities rescinded the honors they gave Sutton in the past. And the high school student who was at the center of a viral video controversy is suing the Washington Post. Attorneys for Nick Sandmann are seeking $250 million in damages. Sandmann was in Washington last month for the annual March for Life rally. In a shortened video that gained national attention, he was shown in an encounter with a Native American elder. The video shared by Washington Post did not show the group of men taunting the students, and lawmakers say this harmed Sandmann.
Robert Mueller's investigation may soon be coming to a close. According to people familiar with the matter, Attorney General Bill Barr could announce the completion of the Russian probe as early as next week. The almost 2-year-long investigation will close with a confidential report submitted directly to Barr. The Attorney General has then to decide how much of that report he will share with Congress. Barr has said he plans to be as transparent as possible with the report when questioned about it during his confirmation hearings. And Senator Bernie Sanders is off to a strong start in his second run for the presidency. His campaign says Senator from Vermont raised nearly $6 million in the first 24 hours following his announcement. In all, more than 223,000 people in all 50 states made donations. The Wall Street Journal reports when Sanders sought the 2016 Democrat presidential nomination, he raised $1.5 million from some $35,000 in the first 24 hours.
And in health news tonight, a new report shows more than 2 million people in the U.S. are either dependent on or abusing prescription and illegal opioids to treat their pain. The Journal of American Medical Association says the FDA and drug manufacturers failed to properly monitor the use of fentanyl. The class of fentanyl is 100 times more powerful than morphine and is highly addictive. The FDA has not commented on the report. And Southwest Airlines says the partial government shutdown cost it $60 million. That number is far more than the original $10 to $15 million Southwest estimated it lost due to the shutdown. And it's the latest in a litany of recent problems for the airline. Southwest has canceled hundreds of flights since Tuesday due to mechanical issues with its planes. The Federal Aviation Administration is also investigating whether Southwest is miscalculating the weight of checked bags on its flights.
In our entertainment news, the Beatles are no longer the only artists to hold the top 3 spots on the Billboard Hot 100 Songs chart. The now Fab Four shared that honor with Ariana Grande. Grande's album Thank You Next positioned the singer with singles setting in the number 1, 2, and 3 spots on the weekly chart. The only other time that has happened was back in 1964 when the Beatles accomplished the same feat. 11 tracks from Grande's album are in the top 40, giving Grande the honor of being the female artist with the most simultaneous top 40 hits on the charts.
This year's SIU's 41st annual Big Money Film Festival began with a special showing.
Evening Edition's Patrick Cotto checked it out.
The Varsity Theater is known well for its bright up lights, fantastic paintings, but tonight, SIU students took over this amazing facility for a special occasion. SIU hosted its 41st annual Big Muddy Film Festival. The week-long event is run by students who have the chance to show their films they have created. Although this year, students want to expand the festival throughout Carbondale.
So the Varsity is just such a cool location. They show some awesome films here through the year, so we naturally wanted to partner up with them and get involved. And so we reached out to them, and we are really glad that they're kind of hosting the festival this year.
For SIU students in attendance, they knew they were in for a good treat.
This is a really amazing thing we have going on here, not only at Carbondale, but at SIU. Not all universities have this, and I'm really glad that we have this opportunity to catch all these films, so definitely come out if you have the chance.
One of the films shown was Don't Forget Me by SIU alum Jackie Spinner. Her goal was to tell a story about autism since her 2 sons are diagnosed with the disability.
And I couldn't get a school that would accept them because of their diagnosis. So I knew that autistic children in Morocco didn't have a right to go to school, and I set out to make a film about that.
After the showing, she believes that she hasn't been more proud of her work ethic.
It's an honor to be back here. It was an honor to be selected for the film festival. I never imagined that I would have a film here when I would go to the festival when I was a student, and it's great to be back in Carbondale.
For Evening Edition, I'm Petra Cotto.
Now, if you're interested in checking out the other films during the festival, you can head to the Big Muddy Film Festival website at bigmuddyfilm.com.
Will the clouds stick around, or can we expect some sunny skies soon? Madeline has your forecast next.
But first, on Wall Street, stocks ended the day with positive results. The Nightly Business Report has more coming up next at 5:30.
Welcome back to River Region Evening Edition. Here is a viewer photo sent in by Patrick Cotto overlooking SIU's campus. If you have a viewer photo you would like to send in, please send it to our Facebook or Twitter at River Region News. As you can see, it was a particularly cloudy day, but we did see some of that sun start to peek through. Right now it is 47 degrees with a dew point at 41. We have 74% humidity and 11-mile-per-hour wind from the west, and our barometer reached 29.87. For our almanac today, we can see that we were 1 degree higher than our average, both in our high and our low. 49 degrees for the high, 28 degrees for the low, 48 degrees for the average high, and 27 degrees for the average low. We did not reach that record high of 70 degrees set in 1930, nor that record low of -2 degrees. But if we look at our regional temperatures, we can see that in Waterloo, it was about 44 degrees with cloudy skies. Carbondale was 47. Marion is at 48. Cape Girardeau is at 52 degrees. Paducah is at 47. And Evansville is at 45. But it was a particularly cloudy day. Everywhere in the region, we were seeing clouds except in Carbondale and Cape Girardeau. We had a little bit of sun peeking through. But if we look at our temperatures, we can see that it is starting to warm up a little bit. We can see that we are starting to get into this yellow region, which is more into the high 40s and into the low 50-degree temperatures, which we'll be seeing more of in the coming days. But for tonight, we can see that we have a lot going on in our region. We have lots of rain coming in all around the area. In Chicago, we have some freezing rain. To the south in Kentucky, we have some flash flooding going on. But we do have a stationary front that is going to be making its way in, which is both a warm and a cold front mixed together, which will be bringing in a lot of different temperatures over the next coming days. But for tonight, we'll have 28 degrees for the low with cloudy skies. We do have a river flood warning that will be in effect until further notice. We have a 6-mile-per-hour wind coming from the northwest, and our sun will be setting at 5:41 p.m. For the bus stop tomorrow morning, it'll be 32 degrees with mostly cloudy skies with a northeast wind of 2 miles per hour. So it won't be very windy, but it still be pretty cold. But it'll be warming up to about 44 degrees, so a heavy jacket should be good for tomorrow. We'll have mostly cloudy skies with a northeast wind of 5 miles per hour, and the sun is rising at 6:39 a.m. Now for tomorrow night, we'll be seeing that we have cloudy skies with 37 degrees for the low. There is a slight chance of showers, but we will be seeing that we will have a wind of 6 miles per hour from the northeast, and the sun is setting at 5:42 p.m. For our 5-day outlook, we can see that Thursday it is going to be 44 degrees with partly cloudy skies. Friday will be 46 degrees with cloudy skies. Saturday is going to be 63 degrees, but we will be seeing some thunderstorms coming in. But look at that on Sunday, sunny skies, 47 degrees for the high. And on Monday, it'll be 46 degrees with some partly cloudy skies. So we're going to have a temperature warm up on Saturday, but we're going to be seeing some sunny skies on Sunday, and it won't be super cold. It'll just be a little bit warmer than we've been seeing lately.
So this is more of what we're usually seeing, like normal average temperatures this time of year, or?
It is about normal average temperatures. As you saw earlier in my almanac, we have 1 degree higher than our normal average, which is very nice to see that we don't have a lot of inconsistencies, but we are going to be seeing a temperature spike up to 60 degrees, so that isn't as average for this time of year.
All right, thanks, Madeline.
Spring is a month away, but for more than 160 million Americans, the warmer weather may seem like a lifetime from now.
Today, the National Weather Service says 42 out of the 50 states had some kind of winter weather advisory, watch, or warning. Omar Jimenez is in Washington with a roundup of the wicked winter weather.
Spring isn't far off, but winter is far from over.
If you can get out there and make the best of it, it's not so bad. And before you know it, it's spring.
This week, winter weather is slamming much of the country with a mixture of snow, sleet, and freezing rain. The East Coast is taking the brunt of it. More than 5,000 flights across the U.S. were either delayed or canceled, according to data from FlightAware. In Minneapolis, bad conditions forced all of the airport's runways to close at one point. And this month, more snow has fallen in the Twin Cities than ever before, according to the National Weather Service.
I grew up in Minnesota, though, so I'm kind of used to it, but this is a little rough.
And the entire state of Minnesota, fresh off the heels of temperatures below negative 50 degrees with wind chill, was forced to close school Wednesday.
Sub-zero 1 week, and then this week, I mean, just look at it. It's been quite miserable.
And that quite miserable weather is coming in the form of not just one, but 2 separate storms, one on each coast. Seattle, for example, is having its snowiest February in 70 years as part of a system that's bringing winter watches, warnings, and advisories from the Mexican to Canadian border, and even freeze warnings as far south as Phoenix. I'm Omar Jimenez reporting.
And now here's Tyler Zalby with a preview of what's coming up next in sports. Tyler?
Thank you, Jacob. Saluki softball makes a change to the schedule, and a Purdue student walks the walk. You're watching River Region Evening Edition at 5. Saluki softball is coming home early. Predicted weather conditions in Chattanooga means that now some games of the Frost Classic will now be played in Carbondale. 4 games will be played on Friday, including SIU games against Creighton and Ohio. 1 game on Saturday and 3 on Sunday, including an SIU rematch with Creighton and Ohio. Next weekend will be the Coach B Classic as scheduled. And the end is in sight for Saluki men's basketball, and they still have a shot at winning the MVC regular season crown. But first, they have to get past Valpo, a game they dropped here in Carbondale early in the season. Despite an even conference record, SIU is top 5 in several categories, including offensive rebounds, three-point shooting, block shots, and field goal percentage against. Tip-off is scheduled for 7 p.m. from Valparaiso. A season of grinding and hard work culminates in this, the MVC Women's Swimming and Diving Championships. The 4-day event at Missouri State will see the best of the best from the conference compete for individual honors and the honors of tops in the Valley. Competing today is the 200-yard medley relay and the 800-yard freestyle relay. Senior Emma Brazo is currently 4th in the Valley for the 200-yard medley relay. You can follow all the action on Saluki social media accounts. And ahead of the MVC Indoor Track and Field Championships, one Saluki will be the reigning field athlete of the week. Junior Alexis Roberson brought home the honors after winning the weight throw at the EIU Friday Night Special last weekend. The juniors ranked 17th nationally and 2nd in the Valley. The indoor championships are this weekend at Northern Iowa. Purdue superfan Tyler Trent may have passed on, but his legacy in the Purdue community is stronger than ever. Yesterday, Purdue student Aaron Lai made the 100-mile walk from West Lafayette to Bloomington to raise money for cancer research. Lai raised $20,000, and Tyler Trent's family couldn't have been more proud of Lai's efforts.
In my heart, I just kept saying, "Go, Aaron," and we were texting, and you can do it. And it's really an honor for my family.
And today's play of the day comes to you from the Diamond. Wake Forest is taking on Liberty when Wake's Shane Mertz hits a foul ball down the line and right, only for Liberty's Aaron Carricker to race over, flip over the fence, and hang on to record the out. That was just one highlight from the Flames' 9-3 win over the 20th ranked Demon Deacons.
All right.
Holy cow. That's all I can say. All right, thanks, Tyler.
We saw some sunshine today, but is the sunshine going to be sticking around for the rest of the week? Madeline has a final check of the forecast next.
But first, as we head to break, be sure to follow us on social media at River Region News and check out our website for more local content. We'll be right back. Finally tonight,
Happy birthday, dear Melissa.
it's National Love Your Pet Day. Pet lovers will have no trouble celebrating this holiday, so set some time aside to give your pets their favorite goodies, or you can even dress them up in your favorite cute costume if you're into that. Use hashtag National Love Your Pet Day to share your pet photos with us on social media. Okay, looking at all those dogs and cats and everything, oh my goodness. Wait, was that your dog at the beginning?
Yes, it was. That was my dog, Ernie. Hi, Ernie. I hope you're having fun at home.
It looked a little bit warmer there. We expect to see that this weekend.
Well, we are going to see some warmer temperatures, but it's actually going to be pretty wet outside because you see on Saturday it's going to be warming up to 63 degrees, but it's actually going to have some thunderstorms. But on Sunday, it'll be a great day to take your dog for a walk because it's going to be nice and sunny with 47 degrees for the high, 26 for the low, so it'll be a little cooler in the morning, but by afternoon it should be a great time to go outside and play with your pets.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of clouds here recently, so it'll be nice to see the sunshine for once.
Absolutely, and even though we have some partly cloudy skies tomorrow, but it'll be back to cloudy for Friday.
All right, thanks, Madeline.
No problem.
And thank you for joining us tonight. The Nightly Business Report is next. I'm Hannah Frisch.
And I'm Jacob Gordon for Madeline Parker, Tyler Zalby, and all the students who work on Evening Edition. Have a good night, and we'll see you tomorrow.